Have you ever wondered whether it's allowed to close your eyes during prayer? Does doing so affect the acceptance of your salah? This is a question many Muslims ask, and the answer holds not just a ruling, but also a powerful message about the nature of our relationship with Allah. In Islam, prayer is far more than a routine obligation. It's a moment of spiritual connection, a direct meeting between the servant and the Creator. During Salah, a Muslim is expected to show full devotion, humility, and concentration. It's a sacred time when the heart, body, and mind all align in the worship of Allah. Most scholars agree that the Prophet Muhammad used to pray with his eyes open, usually focused on the place of prostration. For this reason, the sunnah is to keep the eyes open during Salah. However, if someone finds that closing their eyes helps them concentrate more and reach a state of deep presence, khushu', it is not only permissible, it may even be better in that case. The Prophet said, "Pray as you have seen me pray." Bukhari 631, reminding us that our prayers should reflect sincerity, focus, and the noble example he left behind. There's a well-known story of a companion of the Prophet who was struck by an arrow while praying during a night watch. Despite the pain, he continued his prayer without stopping. Why? Because he was reciting a surah that he didn't want to leave unfinished. That's the kind of spiritual concentration and love for worship that defined the early Muslims. Another beautiful reflection comes from Abdullah ibn Abbas, R.A., who said that perfect prayer is when you stand before Allah as though you see Him, and if you cannot, then remember that He surely sees you. This level of awareness turns Salah into a deeply emotional and personal experience. Prayer was never a quick ritual for the Prophet. One night, he stood in Qiyam reciting Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah An-Nisa, and Surah Al-Imran, all in one standing. When asked why he exerted himself so much, he replied, "Should I not be a grateful servant?" Even though he was the most beloved to Allah, his prayers were filled with deep humility and gratitude. There are countless stories of the companions and their love for Salah. Umar ibn al-Khattab, R.A., during one prayer, was so overwhelmed by a verse about the hereafter that he couldn't move forward. He simply kept repeating it, crying as he recited. Their hearts were fully engaged in every word. The Prophet also said, "The first thing a person will be asked about on the Day of Judgment is their prayer. If it is sound, all other deeds will follow accordingly." Sunan an-Nasa'i 465, this shows how important it is to get our Salah right, not just in form, but in spirit. One moving incident from Islamic history tells of a companion who, before his execution by enemies, asked to perform 2 rak'ahs. He prayed with such calm and focus that when he finished, he said, "I would have prayed longer, but I didn't want you to think I was afraid of dying." This is what it means to face death with faith, and to treat prayer as the final goodbye. Abu Bakr, R.A., the first caliph of Islam, was known for his emotional connection to the Quran. His voice would often crack in Salah as he recited verses of Allah's mercy and the hereafter, and even non-Muslims would be moved by the way he prayed. According to a hadith, when a believer stands for Salah, their sins are placed on their shoulders and head, and with every bow and prostration, those sins fall away. Sunan Ibn Majah 1396, but this happens only when the prayer is sincere, filled with presence and humility. Looking at the place of sujud is recommended, as it helps keep focus. However, if someone finds the environment distracting, and they close their eyes to deepen their concentration, scholars like Imam Ibn al-Qayyim have stated that this is allowed, and even preferred if it leads to greater khushu'. The daughter of the Prophet, Fatima, R.A., was known for her long, heartfelt prayers. Despite her responsibilities and hardships, she would stand in Salah for so long that her feet would swell, yet she found strength and peace in that connection with Allah. Another companion, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, R.A., described the Prophet's recitation as perfectly balanced, not rushed, not slow. Every word was clear and deliberate, showing us the value of mindful recitation during prayer. The Prophet also said, "The closest a servant is to their Lord is while in prostration, so increase your dua in it." Sahih Muslim 482, Sujud is the moment to pour your heart out, to seek forgiveness, mercy, and blessings. It's where your head is at its lowest, but your soul is closest to the divine. Even during fierce battles, the companions would never abandon Salah. They would pray in turns, showing us that nothing, not even war, can come between a believer and their Lord. Before the Battle of Qadisiyah, the Muslim army spent the night in prayer, seeking victory not through numbers or weapons, but through divine help. These stories remind us that Salah isn't a burden, it's a gift. It's a refuge from the noise of the world, a healing for the soul, and a source of strength in hardship. Whether our eyes are open or closed, what matters most is the condition of our heart. May Allah grant us the ability to pray with true focus and sincerity, following the beautiful examples of the Prophet and his companions. May our Salah be a source of peace, forgiveness, and nearness to our Creator. Ameen.